Welcome to another episode of Marketing Tips for Doctors. I'm your host, Dr. Barbara Hales. Let me ask you something. Why is everyone suddenly talking about Opus Clip? Everywhere you look, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, people are pumping out short videos like a content machine. And if you ask them how they're doing it, they all say the same thing. I just use Opus. So the question is Opus Clip really the magic solution? Or is there something deeper going on that most people are missing? Because here's the truth. The tool isn't the strategy. And if you don't understand that distinction, you can use the same tools as everyone else and still get completely different results. Let's break this down simply. Opus Clip is an AI tool that takes a long video, a podcast, an interview, a talk, and it does three things. It finds what it thinks are your most engaging moments. It clips them into short form videos. It formats them for TikTok, Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Sounds amazing, right? And honestly, it is, because the hardest part of the content creation isn't editing, it's this: deciding what's worth clipping. And Opus solves that. It removes the mental friction of which part should I use? Is this interesting enough? Will this actually perform? It gives you volume and speed, and that's why everyone is using it. But here's where things go sideways. People think if I use Opus, I'll grow. And that's just not true because Opus does not understand your audience, your positioning, your message, your authority. It's guessing based on patterns. And sometimes it gets it right, but sometimes it pulls a clip that lacks content, it lacks context, it feels flat, it doesn't hook anyone, and you end up posting content that looks polished but doesn't actually connect. So, what do the smart creators do? They don't rely on Opus. They use Opus as a starting point. Here's the real workflow: record long form content, let Opus generate clips, review and refine, enhance the best ones. Because here's the insight most people miss: virality isn't found, it's shaped. The AI can suggest, but you decide what actually matters. If I were building a medical brand today from scratch in 2026, here's exactly how I'd use Opus. I would record one strong, thoughtful podcast episode, not 20 random videos. One. Then I'd let Opus generate 10 to 20 clips. And then I'd ask, which of these actually reflects my message? Not which one is flashy, which one is trendy, but which one builds trust? Because in medicine, trust is everything. Let me say something that might surprise you. The people winning with Opus were already good before Opus. The tool didn't make them better, it made them faster. And that's a huge difference because if your content is unclear, generic, forgettable, Opus will just help you produce more of that faster. So, should you use Opus Clip? Yes, absolutely. It's one of the most powerful tools available right now. But don't confuse the tool with the strategy because the real advantage isn't AI, it's clarity. Clarity of message, clarity of audience, and clarity of purpose. And when you combine that with tools like Opus, that's when things start to scale. If you're a physician or practice owner and you're trying to grow your presence online, start here. Don't focus on doing more. Focus on saying something worth hearing. Then let the tools amplify it. If you want, I can I can help you create short clips or help you with your long video, which then goes to short clips. I can help you add stories and patient examples. Now, let's take this one step further. What should you add to Opus and why? Because if you really want to understand how people are winning with this, you have to look at what they're doing after Opus. Because the best creators are not using one tool, they're using a stack. First, I would add CapCut. After Opus generates your clips, I would take the best ones into CapCut. Why? Because Opus gives you structure, but CapCut gives you impact. This is where you tighten the hook in the first 2 seconds, add emphasis to keywords, control pacing, add visual rhythm, and in short form video, the first 2 to 3 seconds determine everything. CapCut lets you engineer attention, not just hope for it. Second, I would consider Descript. Now, if you're doing longer podcast episodes regularly, Descript becomes incredibly valuable because instead of editing video like a traditional editor, you edit it like a document. You delete words, sentences, filler, and the video updates automatically. So your workflow becomes clean, the full episode in Descript. Then send it into Opus, then refine clips afterward. This gives you cleaner source content, stronger clips, less wasted output. Third, I think about Submagic or similar caption tools because captions are not just decorations. They are the content, especially on silent autoplay platforms. Tools like Submagic let you highlight keywords, animate text, create visual emphasis, and that small upgrade can be the difference between someone scrolling or stopping. So here's the system I'd actually use: record, Descript, to Opus, to CapCut, to post. And if you want to simplify it, record, to Opus, to CapCut, to post. That's it. Because again, the people winning right now aren't using better tools, they're using better workflows. And once you understand that, everything changes. So let's help you out. If you need help with this, or if you would like to have your videos made into shorter videos, contact me at themedicalstrategist.com/contact, and we can talk about it. So I'll speak to you then.